Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
Hello, it's another great day in world of One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece TCG is dropping bombs this week, and we're about to talk about those. We're talking about news. Um, no more introduction needed. Let's
No,
jump
no.
right into these leaders.
You know,
Uh,
it's always a good day when we get leaders
leader drop day is my favorite day of a set release.
and
Um,
three dual color leaders too.
I'm guessing all set for is dual color. And we're gonna get crazy stuff like these three.
You know, the first one is really interesting. We'll skip right into Vivi. We'll go left to right. Vivi is blue red, obviously. You'll notice that she also has 5 life. This is the first time we've seen dual color leaders with 5 life. Vivi, same power, 5k Alabaster Kingdom. This leader cannot attack. Activate main once per turn, cost 2. Uh, Draw 1 card, and then add up to one of your character's gains rush during this turn. The end. Blue
As
red.
always, as always, we're getting our translations from the One Piece Discord, linked below.
Absolutely.
Um, Blue red leader.
You know, it's the first one. This is one of the colors that we had definitely been asking for. But we just got Iceberg, right? We've had Iceberg for a little bit in the east. We've had it. We've had it now for the west. Zero hype, because it can't keep up tempo wise. So when I see Vivi and I read that effect, that's the first card. It's the only card we have reference to, and I go back to it, and we've already seen this be unsuccessful. So, what's different here between this and Iceberg?
Leaders that can attack is weird, and Iceberg is a monocolor leader that can attack, but it only has 5 life.
Yeah,
This is a dual color leader that can attack with 5 life. So why would you ever play Iceberg and not something that has more potential with 2 colors? Um,
spoiler, you
and,
don't.
and right before you hit record, you went, "Why isn't Iceberg 6 life then?"
Literally needed to be 6 live. That
Anything. He needed to be higher power so that he could defend better since he's not attacking, or he needed to have more life since he's not attacking. They just gave dual color leaders an extra life and can't attack. Iceberg should have been built that way also.
you're watching you're watching a GGN video. You should have known we were going to slam purple at some point. The difference between Iceberg and this is when we were talking about Iceberg, we kept saying, if the character cards and the set follows and the cards help the color, Iceberg had a real chance. And I think that was working, but the lack of endgame just made Iceberg just unplayable, in my opinion. Um, so if the set is good for Vivi, I have hope for this. It is red, which is a huge plus since red has been getting all of the love. Another option for you to play Marco in. It really depends on the set. Rush is a nice tool. Drawing a card is a nice tool. It's a little costly in my eyes. 2 every turn, and then it can attack on top of it. It's hard to imagine our current meta, but you never know what could come in the set that could change this.
Mhm.
But not my favorite first glance leader.
Not being able to attack but giving one of your characters rush isn't bad though, because that means your character card that you played that turn that would normally not be able to attack is your leader attack at that point. Um, but the downside is if you draw bad, you don't have your leader to help clear. If you need to put pressure elsewhere, your leader can't help. Um,
Yeah,
the draw is great though. Any anytime you draw is a good time.
I'm a big fan of draw.
Yeah. Moving on to Rebecca. Blue black leader 5 life also 5k power Dressrosa. This leader cannot attack. Also cannot attack. Activate made once per turn. Cost of 1 Dawn. If you have 6 or less cards in your hand, look at two. Look at the top 2 cards from your deck. Reveal up to one Dressrosa type card and add it to your hand. Then trash the rest. So draw one. Basically, search one, dip one. Um, and with black, if you're running into CP, if you're doing blue and CP, those cards don't mind going to the trash because you have cards to recover them. Um, and who knows how many other cards, hint, hint, will recover from the trash. But another 5 life dual color leader that can attack. And they're both the ladies, which Sexism, which, um,
Rebecca was a badass too. That's the part
she
that's hurting
is.
me a little bit. Like Vivi didn't fight very much, but like Rebecca was in the action, man.
Wasn't she like close to undefeated also?
She was there. She was
Yeah.
fighting it. I don't know.
I mean, like in the gladiatorial ring, wasn't she following after?
She was swinging. She was fighting
Yeah.
like the rest of them. The colors also, both of them, Vivi's and Rebecca, don't have much synergy so far. I wanted to mention that there's not a lot of reduction blue synergy. All blue has been solo archetypes, so there's not
Hmm.
too much other than the draw that blue has gotten. That'll be very helpful to start this deck. But again, it
Hmm.
comes down to how good is the Dressrosa package.
Hmm.
There's nothing to build off. I don't think there's any Dressrosa in black. There shouldn't be any in blue off the top. Um,
So far, no.
so far, no.
Um,
So it just depends what's going to be in the set, and are they going to build on it in the following set? Because I think these colors, these two leaders, are going to need,
none
more
of the
than 10 cards.
y- yeah, none of the Flamingos are Dressrosa, right?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they're Don Quixote family.
Okay. Um, yeah, and that the interesting thing about having dual color leaders as your headliners is maybe you're not going to get just 10 cards. You're going to
Maybe.
split those across both colors. So, maybe it still ends up being 10 if every leader is dual color. So
Right.
your VV package is going to get 5 red cards, 5 blue cards.
Right.
Your Rebecca package is going to get 5 blue cards, 5 black cards, which is probably even worse, honestly.
It's worse because we've already
Yeah.
seen that being so stretched thin with black now, or not purple now, where it's an unplayable color. And these dual color leaders are really cool, but we're not building off of anything. And we're gonna
Mhm.
get to Croc. The fact that he's not blue is gonna absolutely shatter my soul, because we had a chance to build on something that was set one, but had
Mhm.
potential.
Yeah.
But it just depends because these leaders really depend on how good the set is going to be. It's not like
Mhm.
Zoro where giving 1,000 to everything is going to be good from here until we die.
Mhm.
Um, but it
Until a
really,
leader gives 2,000.
yeah, until something, yeah, until it gets one upped. But this leader will always depend on this set and how good Dressrosa is. So it's
Mhm.
just we'll see.
Yep.
But the leader not being able to attack in a world where Marco is currently dominating, and we're prioritizing leaders that can attack twice in Lucci and in Kid. Um, it's not a good first step forward, at least in our current state of the game.
Yeah, and the set could just be broken and it wouldn't matter.
Worst power creeps have happened, so you never know.
Right.
The next leader that we did allude to, shocker, we have a really pretty crocodile. That is the one right side here. We have purple yellow crocodile, 7 Warlords Barrack Works. He is a 4 life leader. Opponent's turn, once per turn. When you return Dawn from your field to the Dawn deck, one of your effects, add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Um, so if you used on for your opponent's field, so if you're using cards like Judgment or Blast Breath, you would not lose your Dawn basically.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that it says opponent's turn. If it said your turn only, this card is a S tier leader. All of your set one stuff that does crazy stuff that you don't play. I think it's Sakazuki. Is it Sakazuki? That
He's
it's
black.
-1 draw card, and I don't think anyone played it. It's either Sakazuki or Who's Who. One of the two was -1 draw card,
I think it was a
and
Sasaki, but yeah, there's definitely a
someone,
purple card in there that does that. Yeah.
yeah, and then there's Who's Who that is -1 destroy through or less.
Mm-hmm.
If it was on your turn, all of those cards would be playable and ridiculous because you're not paying the cost, which is maybe why they didn't do it. My real question is, how long does it take after this set comes out for someone to paint over Crocodile with a LeBron James jersey or an Anthony Davis jersey?
That's pretty funny. I didn't even put that together. That was Laker color. Um, that's pretty. Now I have a reason to play this man.
There
Yeah,
you
this
go.
this effect it's poor. Yellow currently has no minus effects, so we're looking strictly at purple here. And if you follow the channel, you know how we feel about purple. There isn't enough purple to for it to be good. It's always been a side color at best. It has a plethora of 2Ks. Queen is absolutely electric card. So it's going to come down to, again, how good are these cards in the set going to be for this archetype? And if we're looking at Purple's history, I don't have a lot of confidence. And I was expecting Yellow to have a really good set, right? Because Black had a really good set for its second one. I'm expecting the same for Yellow, but if it's going to be lumped in all these dual archetypes, we're going to be splitting this up more, and now I have less confidence that we're going to get more support for our Big Mom packages that we had in set 3. Um, yeah, just I'll have a lot of just questions. Are we only going to see dual color leaders? We have that theme deck coming out with the Law, Luffy, and Kid coming out, like they were on the cover of it. I actually think we're going to get a tricolor leader. That looking at these kind of makes me feel more confident that we actually might getting some kind of tricolor system soon, which would be definitely game changing for sure.
Yeah, it's possible that they go for that, or it's a dual color starter deck leader with 5 life and
Yeah.
an attacking effect or something. Um, I see why they made it balanced with 5 life and can attack, but also I wish it was implemented more intelligently from the beginning, like with iceberg and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I think that's a good amount of time for the leaders. I'm waiting for those hand-drawn alt arts on Crocodile.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be exciting. And dual color leaders are always have those things where you never know if they could get good later. So anytime a new Dressrosa, Alabasta, or Barrack cards come out, they definitely flag those leaders. I mean, same thing with dual color leaders out in the past. So exciting.
Did you just casually click on Boundman and just talk about Crocodile? Jeez.
Woo, baby! Look at this man. He looks so good. We got an SR right off the bat, by the way.
First SR, no art reveals this time, just going straight into it, which I'm happy about because I think the set comes out mid-May,
Yep.
so they need to get on it. Start giving it to us. Um, this is, if you didn't know, full name Monkey D. Luffy,
Spoiler
SR,
for
black
Dressrosa.
character. Black character, 7 cost, 7K, Dressrosa, Straw Hat Crew. This character can attack active characters. Activate main once per turn. You may return 7 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Set this character active. Then, during your next refresh phase, this character cannot be set to active. So if you attack twice with it, he cannot be set to active on your next
Correct.
refresh phase.
Correct.
Do you attack with him twice then? I wouldn't. It depends on in game, maybe, but
Yeah, it depends where our meta lies, right? Like if this was in the meta right now, this would absolutely be played at a high count. This is a great card against Marco specifically, and when I see this card, I'm like, huh. I wonder if they're trying to correct the Marco fiasco that's happening in set 3.
mhm.
And I would say yes. This screams Marco killer to me.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think it's better than any of our good black drops or high black drops now. Like I'm not considering this over any of my Sakazukis. I'm definitely not messing with my Fujitora accounts for this guy. But if the meta requires multiple attacks out of a card for X amount of reasons, this
Mhm.
Luffy is very good, and I think that's worthy enough for it to be on our radar, depending on what's good.
This card's gonna get incredible alt art also.
Ooh.
It's gonna be an absolutely gorgeous full art, and his arm's gonna be all over the place in the background, I hope.
He's already striking the iconic pose, right? So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
so they're absolutely gonna go some hand drawn, fresh. All it's gonna be
Yeah.
gorgeous. They're gonna go
You
all
can
out for this boy.
yeah, you can see the sunflower shirt like very vaguely throughout, so it's full Dressrosa clothing. It's great.
That was a low key vibe. It was a good shirt. They should bring it back one day. They won't.
Bring it back.
We did get our first character card, but the most appealing thing probably for this episode, probably to take up the rest of the time, will be the start of a ban list in One Piece TCG.
Yeah, they went for it.
They went for it. Effective soon.
Yeah, yeah. End of the month, beginning of next month. You will no longer be able to play these cards. They went straight to ban. They didn't go to limited to one. They didn't do semi-limited, which Yu-Gi-Oh does, which is like two or something. They went straight to you cannot play Moby Dick anymore.
Ah,
Edward Newgate, the leader, and the Whitebeard Pirates are too strong, and with Izo being able to search it and make it very easy, to get this card. We do not want this card in the game anymore.
Right.
Personally, ban lists are healthy, but also terrible choice. Don't go straight to gone, in my opinion. Uh, and if it's such a bad thing, I think if you're put it to one, limit this card to one card. Then your player has to choose when searching if they see this card, is this the most optimal play for me? Do I have to have Moby Dick in play this game, or do I need the Marco that is also in search right now? And I think that makes it much more interesting and makes it much more harder for players to make those choices. It might be if I see this card, I get it no matter what, because it's going to help my end game better than any other card. Because one card in the game gets rid of it, and it's a black card. So,
And no one's playing it.
I mean, they
Not,
should. I mean,
not
Moby Dick
anymore.
is a problem.
um, yeah, I agree. We've played. I've played in. I think every card game I've played has a ban list or will eventually had a ban list and a limited list. I think I agree. I don't think straight to banned is the right call. Even in Yu-Gi-Oh! One, there was cards that were absolutely game changing broken and should have went straight to ban, went straight to limited first, just so they could see what the impact of the game was. But Yu-Gi-Oh was very good. They would alter their ban list quite often, at least when I was playing. I don't know how it is anymore. So what this screams to me is that they're doing this once and they're not touching this for a while. Like this was a change that they made, and I agree with the Moby Dick one. I think this does give you options to play other red leaders. We have seen way more Zoro. I've seen way more Ace.
Just in the
Which
last few days.
this in the last few days, which it's I think that's the healthy, nice part of the game because this wasn't the meta defining card. It's absolutely Marco. This just gave Whitebeard a really large advantage. I don't think this is a huge hit to the deck. Specifically, Rei Yuko was a card that was in and out of the deck anyway. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a staple at this point, just to replace Moby Dick. So power wasn't the issue; it's just the annoyingness of Marco on top of it. So I am sad to see Moby Dick just go. Should definitely have gone to one. But yeah, kind of a bummer. You know, it's a key card. Really, it's the Moby Dick. However, the other card, they do give you an explanation. It is here. I'm pretty sure we covered most of it.
Yeah.
They hit Cabbage. This is the one that hurt me a little more. Cabbage is a combo, very weird combo with the, I forgot the other buggy clown's name. If you do, you draw two cards, I think. I think that's the exact. I
Yeah.
should have looked it up. It was a
I,
little too good with Nami. We had seen it a little bit in some of the deck lists. It wasn't an overwhelming majority, but the combo was too effective, and people were winning with Nami apparently. In some local arena, I don't know where we're getting this information from. At least Whitebeard had won the first large tournament, and they were in high majority. But not only did Nami not win anything, this card wasn't even unanimously used in that tournament's deck. That really bums me out. We didn't even get a chance for Nami to show success before it was banned.
yeah, so it's on play if you have Moji, draw two cards and trash one from your hand.
That's the
Um,
one.
yeah, Moji, the vanilla. Um, and
So
it's they were using cards like Thrust Pad
good.
and
Yeah.
Overheat. I think it's
hmm
Overheat, right? That bounce cards back to your hand.
Yep.
To and maybe even teach, who knows, to bounce this card back to your hand and then play it again and draw two.
Yep.
Um, I think they hit this card because it's one of the only set two cards that draws. Um, and they weren't going to hit a set three card. Both of these cards are set two cards.
True.
They didn't hit the most recent set, which has Kaya that draws two, trashes two for a one cost, which is way more consistent than this.
Way more.
Way, yeah, just a lot better in my opinion. Less conditions to hit it, just play it,
And
get
it's a 2K.
yeah. So I think it's mostly to say, hey, we're doing something about this. Locals, we're sorry we're getting a lot of complaints that this deck is good. We're going to move forward and make it harder for this deck to win by getting rid of a card that may not be played really. But they're just showing in good faith, we're going to make sure that the game feels more balanced. And so they hit a set two card instead of something that is in the newest set because then sales go down. All of my opinions are going to be, hey, does this affect sales? No, of course they got rid of set two cards. Is it a good choice to hit a deck that hasn't won a majors? I don't think so. I
For
think it's very discouraging.
for a color that's won only one major, to my knowledge, that was the Avant in set two. Um, it sucks. You know, red cards, red and green should have been definitely the heavier targets. They've won literally everything.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's unfortunate that this was the cause, and I was wondering what circle this was prominent in, because a lot of the circles that I had seen, I don't think anyone was committing 16 to 20 cards to this combo right here, and finding large success with it in a huge tournament setting. Yeah,
Right.
I could see the appeal, but yeah, Kaya was absolutely the better target for this combo. But you're right; they're absolutely not going to ban a set three card
Not yet.
the day after it got released.
Yeah.
By then,
Um,
Nami might be power crept, so who knows? It might not even. I guess we'll see.
yeah, something the other co-host Zach said is when in Dragon Ball Super they were hitting decks that needed to be banned, it took them 3 or 4 tries.
Yeah.
So we might see another ban list June, July that hits some set three stuff
Yeah.
to overcorrect for this to keep pushing towards a balanced game. And it's one thing that I think all game designers for card games have a problem with is they build in a bubble and then we get the cards and we go batshit crazy and make ideas that like all the way back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Like
Yeah.
Chain Burn was being built over like 30 sets or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like these cards are built in a vacuum and then we get them and go connect the dots all crazy like and end up with something that they did not expect and then we end up with ban lists. So it's your fault. You did this and
How could you do this? Oh, that's
yeah.
so funny. Um,
So
but Yu-Gi-Oh was at least banning cards that were winning, huge tournaments, and that's
yeah.
where they were drawing from. It's like, okay, we did our regionals. This was the large popularity. Let's change this so we can open up the meta a little bit.
Hmm.
I don't think Whitebeard's going to be going anywhere. I do think we're going to see way more Zoro, way more Ace. We had already seen a lot of Zoro and Ace. Just think it'll
Hmm.
be more balanced numbers,
Yeah.
and I don't think this is gonna affect Nami very much. So I just don't understand what we're targeting. And like
I
I
think
said,
it's
we
I
went
think
straight
it's
to
a
ban.
warning shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been. It's a ban. Cabbage could have went to one like that combo. I don't
That
think anyone was.
combo's mostly dead at that point also. So
Yeah,
it's a warning shot that hits someone's shoulder instead of missing, and it is what it is. We'll see how they approach it in the future. I think it's healthy to have. I just think it's really extreme on one deck that probably didn't need to get hit, and one deck that probably could have been uh, like injured but not killed. Like this could kill Whitebeard.
like they could have done this in set two, and they could have hit like Momo or something or Bonnie, and that would have immediately changed the impact or trajectory of set two.
Hmm.
So the fact that they're doing now, and I don't think it's going to change very much. Like we'll probably see less Whitebeard, of course, but red will still be the dominating color because of Marco. Um, so it's just interesting to see that now that we have it, where it's going to go, where it's going to progress. Definitely a larger topic for when we have more time.
Absolutely, let's do that.
I agree. And that would do it for news, a lengthier news, new cards, new ban system, which is really exciting. In the comments, let us know which cards from set 3 should be banned and why should it be Marco. And if not Marco, please let us know.
Absolutely. See you guys around. Peace.
Bye, guys. Ban list, man. They should just ban the Zoro leader.
Oh God, that's
They ban
extreme.
leaders next.
I don't think so.
Seems too hard.
It seems rude. Yeah.
Imagine spending 120 on your favorite alt leader and getting banned.
Take that. That's what you get for spending money.